Hi, my name is Paula Jennings, and I am a transformation coach, yoga teacher, and energy worker. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what I have noticed in the cycle of change. So in this circle of change, you might call it birth, life, death, and rebirth. When a project gets initiated and is launched and matures and then is ready to end. Our lives are full of different cycles, different seasons, if you like, that we go through. And with each cycle comes a new set of challenges and also a new set of things to be grateful for and to lean into. And so I have been watching and working with many clients on transition processes. And what I notice is that there are certain times of accelerated growth and expansion. And then it always follows that is a period of contraction. And there's times when we will, of course, feel great and confident and wonderful in this expansion. And then we're hit by the fact that we're contracting. And that can feel more difficult if we resist that contraction and we don't understand that it's part of the process of this cycle that you're in. So it's just the other side, the coin of expansion. And we can save ourselves a lot of energy and heartache and just isolation in some ways as well, if we understand that process and how we cycle through it. I think the best way for us to do that is to look to nature. So in nature we have, say, for example, a rose bush. So a rose bush in the spring is beginning to get its leaves, it's beginning to grow, it's coming to life. And then towards the summer and late summer, the blossoms blossom. The beautiful roses. I have a beautiful pink rose bush in the front of my house. It is just glorious when it's in its full glory of pink roses. And I can relate to that as a human being. When I'm in my full radiance, when I'm in my full glow, if you like, I feel so good. And I would love to be able to stay there forever. But like the rose bush, I'm going to shrivel. I'm going to contract. My leaves are going to get a little, dry and they're going to fall off. My blossoms are eventually going to, like the rose bush, fall into the earth. And so I was thinking about that process, and I noticed that myself and a lot of my clients, what we do is we try to make ourselves wrong for the process that we go into. Like, is there something that I did to cause my leaves to shrivel? Is there something that I did to cause my blossoms, my leaves to fall, my beautiful petals to fall? And that can get us stuck in a cycle of, I guess it's in a cycle of blame. But if I think about the rose bush, or it could be shame too, it could be blame and shame, it could be victimhood, it expresses itself in different ways. Because we're not used to expressing or being okay with things being not okay, right? And so we're conditioned a little bit to pretend that everything is okay, or to think that to blame ourselves for not feeling great all the time, or for having those periods. And then that can actually prolong this winter and fall. It can prolong the season for us. So I was really thinking about this in the rose bush, and what would it be like if I recognized my cycles, if I recognized, and that could be on a daily basis, or it can be on a yearly basis, it could be related specifically to a project I'm working on, that there's going to be times as I'm creating, as you're creating, where you will feel so connected and so confident and so blooming that you can feel like you're invincible and do anything, you're unstoppable. And what if you didn't contract? You didn't blame yourself for the contraction. What if you understood that it was going to come? And what if you prepared for it? What if you allowed yourself the time to plan, so that you are, when it's in fall, you are doing activities, you're doing things that actually nourish you and fill up and regenerate and allow those seeds to take root. You start to get really intentional about what it is you're creating, connecting to that life cycle. It could make things a lot easier, right? It could make things a lot easier to recognize that you don't have to be in opposition with yourself. You don't have to be in opposition with the process that you're going through. I think that this world we live in is so focused on outcomes. It's so focused on how things look on the outside that we often forget that it's the work that happens in the fall and winter that then determines how beautiful the bloom is, how green the leaves are, how much blossoms, how many flowers I get on my rose bush. That's all related to how did I treat the earth? How did I nourish the rose bush? How did I water it? In the wintertime, how much time did it have to refresh, to relax, to restore? And so I wanted to give you some tips, really. I wanted to share with you what I've learned. Sorry, the dog's barking. I wanted to let you know what it is that I've learned about that period, and how in the beginning of, say my journey when I left Wall Street 5 years ago, in the beginning, those cycles lasted longer. I was in spring and summer for a longer period, but then I got stuck in winter and fall for a longer period because I didn't recognize the contraction that was going to happen as I was creating, at the time it was my business, right? Also working on being with my family, etc. And so now I cycle in and out of those phases easier because I have stopped getting attached to it looking or being a certain way. And so this is what I mean by developing a relationship deeply within ourselves, so that no matter what phase of the cycle that we're in, that we trust ourselves, that we know that we are beautiful, that like the bush that has no leaves on it is still a thing of beauty, right? And so a consistent daily practice really supports in getting us through the cycles. It's about grounding down. So using your, no matter what's happening, whether it's one of these expansive cycles or a contraction one, it's having the same consistent process that you use internally to fortify and strengthen you. So for me, that looks like a morning practice that's non-negotiable. I don't make it so that it's not doable. I make it 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute exercise of watching my thoughts. Then there could be days where I spend 2 hours doing my stretches and working out and doing whatever I do with my yoga practice. But I know that I need the 10 minutes on an ongoing basis, because life goes on no matter what season I'm in. I have obligations, I have things that I need to do no matter what season I'm in. So I need to put in place a stable, steady practice that carries me through the times that I know that I'm in contraction, that I may not want to get out of bed. And I want to be able to set it up so that I can stay in bed and I can still do what I need to do to nourish myself and not feel that I'm not showing up for myself, or not feel that everything isn't going to fall apart. And so the first thing is to develop your own, whatever that might be for you. It could be riding your bike, but have a consistent practice. Second part is learning who the people are. Who are the people that surround you? Who are the people that you can lean on in the good times and the bad times? Noticing the people that support you no matter what stage of the process that you're in, or the life cycle you're in, and who you can be honest about that too. We have people that we surround ourselves by that we know that no matter that we're loved unconditionally. So who are those people? And for me, I really have developed an understanding of the importance of the human connection in my life, and asking for help and being honest about where I'm at with myself, but also with those people. I call them my counsel, right? So my inner core counsel. And the third thing is having a vision about where you want your life to go. So knowing when the vision is clear, it doesn't matter what part of the cycle is, it's going to carry you through to the next stage. So being clear about what are you creating, what is the vision that you have for your life, and what are you going to, and knowing that it's going to take work to get there, and there will be upswings and downswings. Having the guidance and the North Star and the vision of where you want to go is going to take you there. And the vision is something that is not, it's almost like it's what you long for. You long for, and it takes time for us to develop our visions. And that's some of the things that I help my clients with. I help them create such a strong vision that they actually attract that to them with intention, and it makes those downswings easier to navigate. And most people, or the reason a lot of us don't achieve the dreams that we set out to, is that we give up before we get there. And usually we give up maybe even right before we get there. So I hopefully those tips were helpful. And if any of this resonates with you and you would like to reach out for support or a conversation, you can find me at my website, paulajennings.com, or you can email me directly at paulajennings.com, or on Instagram and Facebook, it's paulajennings108. Wishing you a great day. Keep your vibrations high, and I hope that you will connect with me in person soon. Bye-bye.